Let's be real, scams in the United States aren't just annoying emails from princes anymore. They've become organized, high-tech, and disturbingly personal. Every year, millions of Americans lose billions of dollars to schemes that sound completely believable. Some of these scams don't even feel like scams until your money or your identity is already gone. In this video, we're going to break down 5 of the fastest growing scams you need to watch out for right now. We'll look at how they work, who's behind them, and how you can keep yourself from getting caught. Let's start with the one that sounds straight out of a science fiction movie. 1. The voice cloning scam. Imagine this. Your phone rings. It's your daughter. She's crying. She says she's been in an accident and needs you to wire a few $1,000 immediately. You recognize her voice, her tone, every word. There's no reason to doubt it's her, so you send the money. Only later do you find out she was completely fine, sitting in class the whole time. The call wasn't from her at all. It was artificial intelligence, software copying her voice from a few seconds of audio that someone found online. That's the new frontier of fraud, AI voice cloning. Criminals only need about 5 seconds of a person's voice from a TikTok, Instagram clip, or voicemail to recreate it perfectly. Then they call relatives or friends and stage an emergency. They sound real, desperate, and emotional. The Federal Trade Commission has been warning about this since 2023, but the scams have exploded because AI tools are cheap and accessible. The emotional manipulation is powerful. People react before they verify. Protecting yourself comes down to slowing the moment down. Hang up. Call your loved one directly on their known number. Create a family code word that everyone can use to prove a call is legitimate. And remember, when the story sounds urgent and frightening, that's often the tell. 2. The fake tech support scam. You're online checking email or reading news when suddenly a pop-up covers your screen. It flashes red and says, "Your computer has been infected. Call Microsoft support immediately." There's a toll-free number. Maybe an alarm sound. You panic and call. A friendly voice answers, claiming to be from Microsoft or Apple. They say they can fix the problem if you grant remote access. Once you do, they show you errors in your system, most of which are fake, and then ask for a credit card payment to remove the virus. By the time you realize what happened, they've copied files, stolen passwords, and charged your card hundreds of dollars. This is the tech support pop-up scam. It's been around for years, but keeps evolving. The modern twist is that scammers now buy Google ads and create official-looking websites, so even people who search Microsoft Help can end up calling a fake number. The key defense is simple. Real tech companies don't put phone numbers in warning pop-ups. If you see a pop-up that demands you call immediately, close your browser. If you can't close it, shut down the computer. Never call the number that appears on the screen, and never give remote access unless you initiated the support session through a verified website. If you think you already gave access, disconnect from the internet right away and change every password from another device. 3. The Zelle and Venmo transfer scam. The next one hits almost every major city. You get a call or text claiming to be from your bank's fraud department. The message sounds convincing. "We detected suspicious activity. To verify, please send a test payment through Zelle," or "We'll reverse the charge once you confirm." You follow the steps. The app even shows your bank's logo. But the person on the other end isn't from the bank at all. They're a criminal, redirecting your money to their account. Because services like Zelle and Venmo process transactions instantly, once you hit send, that money is gone forever. The scam works because the caller ID often shows the real bank's number. Fraudsters use spoofing tools that make the number look authentic. They also know your partial information, sometimes from previous data breaches, which helps them sound legitimate. Banks keep saying the same thing. They'll never ask you to send money to yourself or anyone else for verification. If you get that message, hang up and call the bank using the number printed on your debit card. If you already sent money, report it immediately. Some banks can freeze the transfer if it's caught early. Another related version happens in person. Someone pretends to need help maybe. Their card isn't working. At a gas pump and asks to send you money on Zella if you cover their cost in cash. You accept, they show you a fake confirmation screen and drive away with your cash. Always verify the payment actually arrived before giving anything in return. 4. The online marketplace scam. Online buying and selling has exploded since the pandemic, but scammers have flooded platforms like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and OfferUp. There are two main versions of this one. The first targets buyers. You see a great deal on a laptop, a concert ticket, or a used car. The seller says they need a quick payment to hold it. They might even send you a driver's license photo or fake invoice that looks professional. You pay through Cash App, Zella, or gift cards and the seller disappears. The product never existed. The second version targets sellers. Someone claims they want your item but says they'll send you a payment code. You receive an email from Zella or PayPal saying the buyer paid extra and you need to refund the difference. Those emails are fake, and once you send the refund, you lose the money. Online marketplace scams rely on urgency and trust. The golden rule is never move payment off the platform's official system, and never pay or refund through methods that don't offer protection. Meet in public places, verify identity, and trust your instincts when the deal seems too good. Police departments across the country now offer safe exchange zones outside their stations for this exact reason. If the other person refuses to meet there, that's your sign to walk away. 5. The medical and insurance scam. Healthcare fraud is rising fast, especially as medical data becomes digital. Scammers pose as Medicare representatives, insurance agents, or pharmacy staff. They call or text saying there's a problem with your benefits or that you qualify for free medical equipment. They ask for your social security number, Medicare ID, or a copy of your insurance card. Once they have that information, they bill fake procedures to your insurance, order unneeded equipment under your name, or sell your identity to other criminals. Victims often don't notice until months later when denied claims or strange bills start arriving. Another version targets people looking for health insurance online. Fake websites collect your data under the promise of cheap coverage, then sell your details to marketers and identity thieves. To stay safe, know that Medicare and legitimate insurers rarely make unsolicited calls asking for personal details. If you're unsure, hang up and call the number printed on your card. Review your statements regularly and report any unfamiliar charges immediately. Never give your Medicare or insurance ID to anyone other than verified healthcare providers. Mid-video summary and transition. We've covered 5 scams that are spreading fast across the country. AI voice cloning, fake tech support, Zella and Venmo transfer tricks, online marketplace fraud, and medical insurance cons. Each one preys on panic, trust, or convenience. The technology changes, but the psychology stays the same. Pressure you to act before you think. In the second half of this video, we'll look deeper at how these scams actually start, why smart people still fall for them, and what habits can keep you protected no matter what new trick comes next. How scams are evolving. The reason scams are growing isn't just technology, it's data. Every online account, loyalty card, or social media post leaks tiny pieces of information. Scammers gather those fragments and build convincing stories around them. If they know your bank, your city, and your last 4 digits from a leak, they can sound exactly like a legitimate agent on the phone. There's also automation. Criminal groups now run scams the same way companies run marketing campaigns. They test which scripts get the best response, analyze data, and scale the ones that work. Some operate from overseas, call centers where employees make hundreds of scam calls a day. That's why it's not about being gullible. It's about being caught off guard. Even cautious people can be tricked when the message sounds urgent enough. Why people still fall for them? Scams succeed because they hijack emotion. Fear, greed, love, curiosity, pick one and amplify it. The AI voice scam user.
Fear for loved ones. The tech support pop-up uses fear of losing your computer. The marketplace scam uses greed for a great deal. Each plays on a basic human reflex. The brain's fight-or-flight response narrows focus. You stop analyzing and start reacting. Scammers know that if they can get you emotional for even a few seconds, They can make you move before logic catches up. That's why the most effective defense isn't just information, it's mindset. When something feels urgent, step back. Verify slowly. Scams lose power the moment you remove urgency from the situation. The role of social media. Social platforms have become both hunting grounds and data mines. Scammers scrape public profiles for names of relatives, voice clips, and photos. They then craft believable messages like, "Hey grandma, I lost my phone. Here's my new number." A few casual posts can reveal enough to impersonate someone completely. Social media also fuels investment and giveaway scams. Posts promising government grants, crypto doubling offers, or celebrity-endorsed deals spread quickly. Most include links that steal login credentials or install malware. Privacy settings are your friend. Keep personal details limited to friends. Avoid posting travel plans in real time. And never respond to unsolicited investment messages. The cost of fraud in America. According to the Federal Trade Commission's latest report, Americans reported losing more than $10 billion to fraud in a single year, the highest on record. But experts believe the real number is much higher because many victims never report out of embarrassment. Elderly Americans are hit the hardest, often because they trust official-sounding calls or fear missing an important medical or financial update. Those numbers show that scams aren't minor crimes. They're a massive shadow industry built on manipulation and stolen data. Understanding how it works is the first step to breaking that cycle. How to protect yourself. So, what can you actually do to stay safe? Let's turn all of this information into habits that make you nearly impossible to scam. First, slow everything down. Every scam relies on urgency. The moment someone says you have to act right now, that's the red flag. No real bank, government agency, or company is going to threaten you with arrest, account closure, or lost benefits if you don't respond instantly. When you feel that pressure, end the call or close the message. Step away, take a breath, and verify independently. Second, verify using official sources only. Don't click on links or call numbers that come in a text or email. Instead, go directly to the company's official website or the number printed on your card or bill. Even one extra step typing the address yourself can make the difference between safety and losing money. Third, guard your personal data the same way you guard your cash. Shred paper statements before throwing them out. Use unique, strong passwords and enable two-factor authentication
on every important account. The less information floating around, the harder it is for scammers to impersonate you. Fourth, talk about scams openly. Families that discuss this stuff actually fall for it far less often. Tell your parents and grandparents about new tactics, especially the AI voice cloning one. Make sure everyone in your circle knows how to verify emergencies and what the family code word is. Scammers prey on silence and shame. The more we talk, the less power they have. Finally, remember that you can always hang up or walk away. There's no such thing as being rude to a criminal. If something feels off, end the conversation. The real organization will never be offended that you wanted to confirm their identity. If you've already been scammed, even the most careful person can get caught. If that happens, the faster you act, the better the outcome. If you sent money through a bank transfer, Zelle, or wire, contact your bank immediately and report it as fraud. Ask them to recall or freeze the transfer. For credit card payments, call the issuer's fraud department and dispute the charge. If you gave access to your computer, disconnect from the internet and have a professional remove any remote access software. File a report at reportfraud.ftc.gov and also notify your local police. Many victims skip that step, but it helps build patterns and sometimes leads to recovery. Change every password that might be compromised and enable two-factor authentication on everything important. If the scam involved identity theft, place a fraud alert with the 3 credit bureaus Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion and check your credit report for new accounts. You can freeze your credit for free, which blocks new lines from being opened in your name. Most importantly, don't stay silent. Being scammed doesn't make you foolish. It makes you human. The same psychological tricks work on millions of people every year. Talking about it helps others recognize the warning signs before it happens to them. How law enforcement is fighting back. Federal and state agencies have started catching up with the technology. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center now tracks emerging patterns almost in real time. The Federal Trade Commission works with banks and telecom companies to trace payment routes. Even private cybersecurity groups monitor scam call centers overseas and share data with authorities. There's progress, but criminals move quickly. As soon as one method gets exposed, they pivot. Voice cloning, for example, wasn't even on law enforcement radar a few years ago. Now it's a top concern. That's why awareness is still the best first line of defense. The more people recognize the red flags early, the less profit there is for scammers, the human side of scams. It's easy to think of scams as numbers or headlines, but each one is a real story. A retiree losing savings meant for grandkids. A small business owner tricked into wiring inventory payments to a fake supplier.
A college student handing over tuition funds to a fake landlord. Those experiences can devastate confidence for years. That's why community support matters. Local police departments, libraries, and senior centers often host free fraud awareness workshops. They teach how to spot phishing emails, verify phone calls, and use privacy settings. Encourage friends and family to attend. Awareness spreads person to person faster than any warning campaign. If you run a business, train employees on how social engineering scams work. A single well-crafted email can trick even experienced staff into wiring funds or leaking data. Make verification protocols mandatory instead of optional. Future trends. What's coming next? Looking ahead, experts expect 3 scam trends to grow. The first is synthetic identity theft, where criminals combine pieces of real data from multiple people to create a new fake identity. They use it to open credit lines that look legitimate and run them until banks catch on. The second is deep fake video scams. Just like voice cloning, but using AI to create realistic video calls. Imagine seeing your boss on a Zoom call asking you to approve a payment. It looks real, but it isn't. The third is subscription and app-based fraud. Scammers release apps that offer free trials and then secretly bill users monthly. Because the charges are small, they often go unnoticed for months. Always review your statements and unsubscribe from anything you don't recognize. The bottom line, technology isn't slowing down, and neither are the criminals using it. Staying skeptical isn't being paranoid. It's being prepared, building a scam-resistant mindset. Here's a mental checklist to keep you grounded whenever something feels suspicious. Ask yourself 5 quick questions. Is someone asking me for money or personal information right now? Are they creating urgency or fear if I don't act? Is this communication unexpected or unsolicited? Can I verify their identity through another trusted channel? Would I be embarrassed explaining this situation to a friend afterward? If the answer to any of those is yes, step back. Scammers count on impulse. Reflection breaks their script. The most powerful tool you have is time. Stories of people who fought back. There are also success stories worth sharing. In California, a group of retirees formed a PIA neighborhood network that shares weekly updates on new scam calls. One member recognized a fake IRS threat call, recorded it, and handed it to authorities, helping trace a ring that had stolen millions. In Texas, a small business owner caught a fake invoice scheme by double-checking an email address before wiring payment. The domain had one extra letter. That single moment of skepticism saved her company $50,000. These examples show that ordinary people, not just experts, can disrupt scams simply by staying alert and talking to each other. Why education beats enforcement. Subscribe for more such videos.